previous slide. Yeah. Moodle LMS itself is not accessibly compliant. Accessibility compliant because it's considered using Moodle plugins. So why do we need plugins? If the Moodle itself is not accessible.
So
without plugin.
So the plugin, the accessibility plugin in Moodle allows you to look at the content that you develop for your students, run the accessibility checker, then it will tell you which parts of your content are not accessible for you to go to correct.
Okay, so that's why.
Yeah. So if you have a Moodle course, if you have a Moodle course and you use the accessibility plugin, you run the plugin over your content, and it will give you a written report. And the report tells you which parts of your course remain inaccessible.
Moodle itself is compliant.
Yeah.
But accessibility plugin to check it.
The accessibility plugin is to check your content. It gives you a nice written report. It shows you which part of your content is accessible, what errors remain, so you've got a picture without alt text, and it gives you things to fix.
Thank you.
I think we can add a couple of examples or a few examples tomorrow to show you. Like once we have the developed materials, we can go for the validator, okay, and it will after some time it will give you some results like yes, this portion is not correct, here it is missing, and we can improve it even further. Yeah, so we'll have a look on that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
That's a pleasure.
What are the estimated rules for checking that if the content is alright or not, or which part needs to be fixed?
So this is the accessibility. That's each. Sure.
We are coming forward. Okay, just wait a few minutes.
No, but it's an interesting point. But just
No,
generally.
we have a good discussion on that.
Okay.
Big presentation on that. That's
Right. So I have now the free apps. Are the trusted apps, or do you want to do the toolkit first?
Yes.
Toolkit.
Remaining questions. Remaining questions.
No, not the remaining
Yeah.
questions.
So what we're going to do is, as Aaron said, we're going to show you the toolkit, all the resources on inclusive education practices. And the toolkit have many resources. And Mufti and Arif are going to show you a demonstration of that course. Then we'll sign you up to our Moodle platform. And then tomorrow, Nick and the team will split you into groups, give you a different persona, a different type of student to design for. One team will have somebody with a visual impairment that you have to design some material for. One for somebody with a motor impairment, and one from the point of view of a teacher. And then you have to, within your groups, make that content much more accessible. Then we'll run it through some kind of accessibility checker. We want you to reflect on whether that's improved your understanding, just as a first exercise about how you might make some considerations to make your content more accessible. So we'll take you through the platform and theory today, and tomorrow is a nice exercise. And then third day, a bit of wrap up, and then you get your certificate. And then we want to keep on working with you throughout the year in online sessions so that we can co-develop more elements to the Moodle platform. So you have all these materials and your accessibility course developers yourselves. Okay.
Okay, so welcome back. So this is a continuation. So online module learning portal with the synchronized mobile app. So that now we are much more toward the actual toolkit. All right. So I know we are all educator. All right. So yesterday I was chatting with David and I was saying something from my personal experience. Like when I was started my teaching around 2004, by 2006, I got a feeling like, yes, I can teach very well. I'm sorry to say, that was my understanding. But now I can realize, yet I need to go a long way to learn how to teach. So there is a inspiring word that I learned from, sentence that I learned from a previous one of the learning session. Like years and years of evidence have shown that students do not learn the way we teach. Okay, so what we need to do is to start teaching the way they learn. All right, so that I personally felt very inspiring because we are very confident about, like, after a long series of journey, yes, we are very confident about teaching, but maybe there are some scopes, and that's why we are here. And I will request you to keep your mind open. Perhaps you know many of the things, but something if is missing, please fill those bits and bobs. And all the work basically done in collaboration with many people. I need to acknowledge few other people as well. That's why I brought these people here. Like you have seen David, Mufti, and me, but Andy is missing, who was working really with this project a lot, and we haven't mentioned his name yet. But he's a good major contributor from our NTU's ISRG team. And then we have a series of other collaborators, like Saiful Sir, we see him here, but Carol is there, whose name was not mentioned. But what I felt like, if we don't acknowledge them, we are missing some bit. So we need to acknowledge them, and other people are also there who was working with us. Right, so now I need to move forward again with some interactive session, right? So I need your assistance. Can you do the similar things? Some questions will be there for you, so please use the QR code. Okay, so we got a question for you, like, what comes to your mind? So can you see this? Not yet. Okay, then I need to do a double check, like why it's not here yet. Okay. Just a second, please.
Aaron, I don't think it's working for the guests.
Yeah.
The internet page, which is
Okay, just give me a second so that I can see what's going wrong here, because it's basically NTU's provided plugins, so there might be some connectivity issue here because I can't log in here as well, so I can see that net issue is there.
nice. Question answers. Question and answer session.
Weird.
Is there any Wi-Fi connectivity?
Yes, there is IHT map. Passport is 63369.
63369. Group leader
কোনো মাছ
Not the code, access code. Access code is 63369.
ডিসেম্বরে আমরা যে সিম্পোজিয়াম করবো এই সিম্পোজিয়ামের আমি কিন্তু গেস্টকে সব দিয়ে দিয়েছি গেস্ট দিয়েছি গেস্টের থেকে টাকা চেয়েছি টাকা দিয়ে থেকে এই বাড়িতে সিম্পোজিয়াম হবে ওখানে নিয়ে নিয়ে যাবো
Can you try now? I don't know whether it's going to work now because maybe some connectivity issue is there. If not, no. Okay, so if the connectivity issue is there, so we were in need of to collect few more very important questions. Perhaps we can keep this question in some other session. Yeah. Okay. Apologies for this inconvenience. So we're going to sort it out this connectivity issue later. Let's roll on with the. I'm not spending some time here anymore. Then. Right. So what we were trying to do in this particular session, like Diverse Asia project and its toolkit, key features, tools, navigation, registration, and use case of teaching. That's we want to focus, and there are some database available for the European Union and Diverse Asia database. So how this can be facilitated to our material preparation, considering the inclusive material. Right. So. Definitely the objective is to navigate Diverse Asia, identify the key access, key inclusion, inclusive education resources, understand the toolkit, and the use of Bangla version as well. That is the interesting bit because we have something Bangla here. So I'm just trying to speed up a little bit. Sorry for that. Right, this is the site we are talking about again and again, the Diverse Asia site, all right? So after this session, we are going to do some practical activity on this one, okay? So this link gonna be helping us a lot to carry forward the remaining part of our journey today. And we need to know actually what we have, like few minutes before we got a questions, how we will be aware about what type of rules or requirements we need to fulfill and how we're going to know about that. All right, so that is very legitimate question. And we can see that there is a button here which is basically to do a registration here. So access the learning materials toolkit. So if we go to there, we'll be able to get the full support of the materials that we have. And these Diverse Asia toolkit basically gave us the inclusive education toolkit, then digital toolkit that we have, a bit of multimodal support that will be related with the affective computing. It is there, and best practice database and guidelines are there, and validation toolkit was there. I'm saying was as because we had a SCORM validator tool, but unfortunately due to the connectivity issue with the AWS, now it's down for time being, but we have other alternatives. So for these Diverse Asia toolkit, that the SCORM validator that we have used, we won't be able to use for these this session, but we are hoping to bring that online maybe sooner. But we can't promise anything right now. But as we said, there are other alternatives as well. Now, we have seen that if we go to the Diversity Toolkit site, that there is a page where we can go for our registration, and we need to register this website, okay, to get the full access of the content. So this is something very simple but yet informative, because most of the cases we don't know actually how can we move forward. This is very simple, all right? Do the registration process, do the form filling, all right? We don't need to tell about this, how to do the form filling, but we need to tell that yes, these are the resources we have that we can be we can use to prepare our materials. Okay, so if we are going to the login page, it will look for your credentials. You will use your email ID and other details, and of course a valid email ID so that you can validate your access, and you will be able to log on to the main page, the home page. Okay, that is the beginning of our journey if we want to create some accessible materials. We're going to give you a handout later in this section so that you can go step by step and see what do we have there. Okay. Now, if we go a little bit down there, okay, I'm just giving you a forward knowledge so that when we're going to be working with our laptop and see how can we move forward, you will see there are two general resources there inside that Diverse Asia Toolkit site. That is, one is Diverse Asia Best Practice. I'm sorry, these fonts are meant to be just snapshots from the website so that it's not readable. Don't try to read it, just get the idea like what we can access in few minutes. And there will be definitely handouts so guide you in a guided way. And then we have European Inclusive Learning Hub as well, which basically gives us a series of guidance and best practice, because we have a diverse range of requirements, and they have a series of best practice. We don't know actually what is our requirement now. As long as we have a key idea, let's say we are looking for a blind people, perhaps we can key in those and we can move forward. Like if we are going to the, let's say we are going to the European Inclusive Learning Hub, and we can have this side, and inside that, let's say you are looking for the blind people, or like how you can create the materials considering inclusive materials, all right, targeting blind people. Now, if you are searching that, you will get a series of outcome, okay, based on the available best practice. And you can have a look onto those one particularly, go details, have a read, what are the requirements, because we don't know all of the requirements. We just need to learn step by step, okay? I'm still learning. Like sometimes I get a specific student in my class group, okay, that student need this bit of attention. But maybe earlier I was not aware about that kind of situation, all right? So what should I do now to tackle that challenge? Because it's a challenge for me to teach the student as well. Because usually we are thinking most of the cases the students are all right, but these are the one-off cases. Sometimes you will learn that, okay, in this cohort you have a student who have a special requirement. Now how are you going to move forward? You can come here, see the guidance, find the related materials, and move forward. Okay? So these are the set of guidance, and it has been collected from a different source with the experts, and after a series of consideration, we have managed to create that. All right? It was a long journey, so the content is there, but now it is your time to explore this content whenever you are thinking to prepare an inclusive material. Okay, now then we have the SCORM validator that we were talking about, and for right now, due to the Amazon's link broken issue, we couldn't up it until last night. But it's going to take little time. But we have alternatives I'm going to show you. Because even when I'm preparing a material for my university, Nottingham Trent, we have a different validator. Okay? We don't have to use the same validator again. again and again. We have multiple platforms, and based on those platforms, we can use a different validator as well. So this is one of the validator, and then the navigation glossary. Navigation glossary is again related with the terms that we can think about. So if you go to the navigation glossary, you will see the A to Z options. And now let's say again, if we are thinking about the blind people, we can just go to the B and see what are the available best practices are there. Okay. Now, after the navigation, we can see there are a series of courses as well. Okay, these courses actually containing some developed materials, and these materials can be helpful for our learning as well to create the inclusive materials. Okay, so it's still on the Diverse Asia toolkit that we have, that we are using based on a registered user. But we have to keep it in mind, we have registered for the toolkit, but we haven't registered yet for any course. All right, we can register for any of the course as well. So once we go to this any of these course, we can do the registration and register as the course and accessibility for the teaching stuff that we can say here. All right, so this course will bring out a series of supporting materials again. Okay, so if we are particularly focusing on the a specific course, and we can think about, okay, what are the learning things we can get from this course. Okay, these learning materials can be progressively updated. So if we have gone through some of the gone through some of the materials, we can keep a track of that. All right. So let's say we have select the accessibility for teaching staff, and we can see these, and these are the topic that we have think about. Now, whenever we are picking up something, selecting one, we can keep a track of it. That yes, I have already been through those materials, and we can select the mark as done. Okay, so if we have read something, because there are so many resources, but just to keep the track of the progress, we can do the mark as done, and that will be basically reflected in the materials as well. Okay, so if you go to any of these link, and it will also relate with the mark as done. It won't be done unless otherwise you are pressing that button. So once you are confident, yes, you have learned about it to prepare the inclusive materials, you can go to the mark as done, and that will be reflected. Now, so far we were talking about the Diverse Asia side. The good thing is we are so busy, and we are not carrying the laptop every time, all right? But very often we are sitting with our mobile phone and spending some time just doing relax. We can develop our knowledge through some app as well. And for that, if you go a little bit down to the main website, you will see that yes, we have the apps as well. Okay, and for Android and iOS, we have both of the apps. And as we have already completed the registration, we can move forward with the similar registration credentials as well. So if we go to the App Store, or based on whatever your phone type, you can see there will be an app for the Diverse Asia. And if you install that, you can see a login page there. So this login page is the same login page that that this credential can be used that you have used earlier. Okay, and if you are logging there, mind it, now it's gonna be a synchronized version because it's the same database that we are using, both in desktop or web app. So we are trying to make your life easy. As long as you have interest, you can move forward. Okay, and now afterward, we can see that the home page and other materials that we have described or pointed you out earlier in the web version, it is reflecting here as well. Okay, so just you need to move forward. Now it is your interest how you will move forward or which direction you want to focus. Like we use the word blind, but if you are thinking about someone with dyslexia or something like others, that is that will bring out the related materials. I mean that relates with the dyslexia or whatever you are thinking about. Okay, right. So afterward, we can see that this Diverse Asia site, they got a bit of support in Bangla as well. We are mostly focusing the tertiary education here, and most of the university, as far I know, support as the support English as our main language. However, for some cases, we have the Bangla requirement as well. So not for the full site, but major part of the site we have the Bangla version as well. It's not only for the Bangla. There are some other languages as well that we have prepared in our Diverse Asia toolkit. So you can use this Bangla as well if you like, but our 100% materials are mostly English, and then we have translated based on those development. Right. Now, as we couldn't connect the VWorks here, I'm sorry for that, but we'll try again. Maybe something messed up with the internet connectivity issue here. And yes, I'm 3 minutes ahead of time, and I'm happy to take some questions, because this is something very quick, but we're gonna dedicate the full session with a handout. You will have a full documentation, and then we will go step by step, okay? So that we can guide you in a better way. Like, yes, register with your credentials, access the website, see what are the materials there, okay? In few minutes time, before the session, we're gonna email you the handout, okay, which will guide us in a better way even. Okay, so questions, please. And some part was missing, some question was missing. As we have multiple sessions later, perhaps we're gonna bring some of the questions that we really need to know from your side to facilitate our further progress. Okay, so questions, please. Any questions? No? Maybe everyone is waiting for the tea. We have a minute, I think, for the tea session. Yes, sir?
Why are you, we are working for tertiary level,
Yeah.
not from beginning, primary level or secondary level.
Okay, so that's a very interesting question. So yes, we have to start from some level. Okay, if we are focusing every level, managing those cohorts gonna be really challenging. So if we are taking this Diverse Asia, is tertiary level, and the vocational institute as TVET, they are also associated here. We can make progress with this level, but then gradually we can incorporate the college, primary school, and other thing as well. But if we are following the full cohort, it's gonna be more challenging. So we are trying to focus on the domain side that we can tackle initially, because there will be requirement. Some requirement will be a little bit different. They may not have all the facilities, as you know, because the tertiary education institutes are more facilitated. Any other questions from this side?
Okay, I have one question.
Yes, please.
So far from the morning, I came to know this project is connected with inclusive education.
Yes, sir.
So this project is covering physically challenged people.
Yes.
Okay. So what about financially challenged people and students, those are facing the financial challenge? What is your recommendation or initiative for those students?
David, would you like to make any comment here?
So,